when it's morning, usually your day is about to come brighter, and well, I hope that your day is about to come brighter, because hello and welcome everybody to HCG, and we are not in the regional Swiss stage anymore. We are already in the main Swiss stage. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing fine, but you see it right there already. We've got Eternal Fire versus For the Win, an important matchup. It's the second round of Swiss, and it's one of those ones, right, where you are in the second round. Both these teams do have a victory under their belt already. You love to tally onto that. You need to, or don't necessarily need to. You do have 3 lives for everybody that does not know how Swiss worked. Where have you been? Why have you not been watching this? But basically, you've got 3 lives. If you lose 3 times, you're out. If you win 3 times, you're through. It doesn't really matter where you do it if you go to the 5th round, but it is always a lot more pressure, and it is a best of 3 here today. Eternal versus For the Win. If you look at purely HLTV standings, you'd think that For the Win are going to get absolutely collapsed because, well, HLTV standings, 112 on the side of For the Win. Eternal Fire, they're 27th in the world. So that is a scary sight to be coming up against. But For the Win, they've been doing incredibly well. Only losing out to Masonic in the regular season. Let's have a look at what maps we're going to be playing here today. That's always an important factor of trying to get the one up on your opponent. It's one of those. Well, Ancient being banned. Okay, Eternal Fire. They do not want that to be played here, but it is one of those starts where you can get the one up on your opponent from the get-go. If you like your map pick, because we're not going to go see Mirage. That's unfortunate. I quite like Mirage, actually. I do prefer that map, and I think it's quite fun. Even though it's very basic, very simple, standard stuff. Oh, we're moving on to Vertigo. Okay, Eternal Fire. Giving us the high-up map. As long as you give us the high-octane gameplay as well to follow it up. And I'm perfectly fine with it. After that, we're going to Nuke. On the Decider map. That is potentially where it's all going to come down to. Initial map picks. Usually you want to trade them out, but if you can sneak it away from your opponent, you look so solid already. And yet another relatively standard map in Inferno. It gets taken off the cards all together. Overpass as well. I like Overpass. Overpass is one of those ones where it's intricate. It's a nice delicacy. Before the Win, they don't want any of it. Just banning it outright. And it should be a good one as we go to a Dust 2 Decider, a 50-50 map if you've ever seen it. That's exactly what you like to see as that Decider, a scrappy battle. At least that's what you expect going into that Decider map. But it's an interesting map pick on both sides. Not any crazy picks. Ancient was banned. I guess Vertigo is a bit of a out there pick, but out there pick doesn't even mean anything anymore. You can have enough practice on Vertigo already. So it is a decent map pool that we're going to be facing. I'm quite in favor of this particular map pick. And, well, For the Win, they've got a 66% win rate on Nuke in the past 3 months. So they quite like that map, and then they go 50-50 on Dust. Unfortunately for them, they're 0%, but only with 1 match recorded, right? So, you know, draw the conclusion from that as you will, as you like, because there is not really that much on the side of For the Win. Of course, the other team has played those maps as well, and they've got an 88% win rate on Dust. I hope that it doesn't go. And also 66% on Nuke. They've got a 41% on Vertigo, but obviously they did pick the map because they were feeling confident with it. Well, here we go. Pistol round engage. Eternal Fire versus For the Win. This is to be 2-0 in the standings. Assert your dominance. Eternal Fire have already done that through the most recent competitions, putting themselves up in the rankings. Those recent competitions, they're going to go out the window right here, right now, because it's on Vertigo where you're going to have to play it out. If you have one bad day, if you want to make one tiny slip up, that dude's gone. Harris. The opener here, good headshot on the tackle. And then Towers just entries. Diaz. He got the flank, but he's not able to break through, and also not able to actually get a kill here. And oh no, that had to be a kill by Jerks. That is unfortunate. It should be the round easily in favor of Eternal Fire. They execute onto site. Well, it was solid, but it wasn't necessarily something that you tell your home front about. And for the win, they missed shots that they realistically should not have been missing in there. And we're already in a tech timeout. But yeah, they were missing shots in the retake that you really should not be missing. It's unfortunate, but hey, it's the first round. You can still try and force it back, but they might not even opt for that. Oh, they already have. They've already bought up the Deagles. They got a scout out as well. I like it. I love it. Look at that plasma booster as well. It's a new flavor. Hey, code HCG. You see it on your screen, but you know, just in case you're only watching or only listening, make sure to check it out still. But for the win, that is not the first round that they do won the util level, as we see on the screen. It is poor, but it is yet again. It's the first round on Vertigo on your opponent's map pick because so for the win, I do think looking at the statistics that HLTV provide, I do think that this is an important map for them, even though it's not their pick, but Dust 2 being the decider map where there's an 80% win rate on the side of Eternal Fire. Oh, you just don't want to go into that. You have a 50-50, sure, but that's one win, one loss for the win. They need to do it right here, right now, and the start already not in their favor. But with the map picks, even that second map, the pick for the win is not necessarily something that you know you're incredibly glad about. It just seems to me that Eternal Fire in every single aspect have got the better of their opponent. But that's probably what we thought earlier in the season about for the win time and time again. They only lost out against the Masonic, winning out against Oglum, Singularity, and also 7-7 Esports, all 2-0. So, but you know what? Unfortunately, they already broke their mouse. They already broke their screen or something. Something went wrong, at least in the technology that they're currently using. So we're going to be going to a short little break. See you back in a little bit.
say you don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here. And no, I don't wanna be alone in the world out there. They say you don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here. And no, I don't wanna be alone in the world out there.
And we are back. It's the art of fishing, right? You put some bait on a fishing pole, you throw it out into the water, and the fish bite. You reel them in, and that's where you have your dinner. Now, I'm not gonna say that you are my dinner, but I am saying that you're gonna be reeled in here for the win. I at least had a first round loss for everybody that forgot, but it seems I had a look at chat earlier. It seems like the Turkish support coming out for Eternal Fire is Grandis. Diaz is actually sneaking through. The Deagle checking every single angle as you need to. But this could be detrimental for Eternal Fire. Their entire round could fall apart before it even started. They're all posing up here on the stairs as they break through. That's one tap, but he can only get a second to tally it on. They now need to move on side. Alex does burn our rods to a crisp. They still move on to fight the flank all the way down the map. Still not being put into a favorable position as Story bites the bullet, gnaws down on it. Unfortunately, that means for you, Jerks, he's the last one alive. So he's going to need to find the place after Turtle splattered all over the city. But Eternal Fire still get the round. Oh my word, that was scary though. Diaz, I don't think he should have peeked in. Because as soon as Diaz peeked, right? As soon as Diaz showed his head around the corner the second time, the first time, absolutely, go for it. But the first time, as soon as you go in, as you peek, they know you're there, so they're going to be keeping an eye on it. If you just stay back, hold it, they have to take that into account, that you could show your head around the corner, and thus they can't fully commit into side with everybody. And now, as soon as they have Diaz down, they could pull the trigger on side, and they're still pushing through, and towers might just get overflown, but they've all locked up, ready to go. Also not even being allowed an Eternal Fire. They also know the art of fish and reeled them in and clattered them back into a position of where we'll start at some point. That's an AK now in the hands of you, Jerks. And he actually save it though. He wants to. Of course he wants to. I mean, 1 minute is still left on the clock, and I don't think Eternal Fire, with the 3 acres that they've got, they just might accept that. Unfortunately, it does fall down the wayside sometimes. Nope, Calix doesn't accept it. Rips him apart. Okay, Calix. This is the round that matters for the win. The previous ones were all forced buys, all a bit awkward. Now it started mattering. This is where you want to break through, and this is where it starts being important, especially on that CT side. You have your first buy round and you need to put a stop to Eternal Fire. But the unfortunate part for the win is that Eternal Fire, they don't have a Mach 10 left over from the previous few rounds. It's all an all AKs against 4 M4s, and they're going quickly. They would just want to take stealth control, extend it. It seems like for the win are accepting to hand this into Eternal Fire. Lining up the nades, as you do. Taking a good gander at the post, that's possible as well. But they are showing presence on both sides. Eternal Fire there. I like how spread out they are at the start. And after that, you do have to move as a unit. But right now, they're spread out, confident in themselves. See whether they could facilitate themselves a pick, thus opening up the site. But Calyx, he's the first one to have an interaction and loses health, half of his health. Story, dangerous position all the way down ramp and take control. They're making the push, but Story loses half his health in the process. The AK now should take him down. Diaz with a good peek, and he's jerking. Get rid of Emor. Santara, he doesn't care, but now he's in the fire, burnt to a crisp. Diaz have himself a barbecue. Eternal Fire. Gonna have to glue this round together, and Araducci makes it even worse. Actually, okay, there is a chance now. Spotted it out. We get the opener and Story with the all puts an end to the shenanigans that Eternal Fire have been putting through. Oh, that is a disgusting angle by you, jerks. Wow. Lovely that. Yeah, good round for the win. No real shenanigans. Just straight up good CS:GO. I'm waiting for Eternal, and that is a problem with their strategy from Eternal Fire, where as soon as they do not win those interactions, they're slowly but surely losing grip of the round until it's completely out of hand. And no matter what glue you use, Gorilla Glue won't get it back together, and you just lose it outright. Double headshot. Agile still in an aggressive position, but he can't back down, so just after the round, lad. So he takes another interaction, misses the first tap, and Bishop will get it with a Tech 9 and thus control a AK for himself. He's going to take that all the way back to Woxic. Woxic is able to sneak around to the side. You jerks seemingly got a cover, and that's the call coming through as well. That's really all you need. So this is very possible for Eternal Fire. Probably going in to prevent the plant. They've linked up now on the side of Eternal Fire. Combined their forces. Just to make it awkward for the opponents. Don't want to make it outright that they are going to execute on A. Well, he's not going to be able to deny it, but that might just deny him the opportunity to live, and that's a good retake before the win. All of them were in the vicinity. They didn't bite. They weren't caught off guard by Eternal Fire, taking a bit of time. For the win, they get their second of the first from Eternal Fire, and this should be a third one. Look at this aggressive position by Agile. I'm not too sure what happened here. Shortly thereafter, rather, where he seemed like he was incredibly confident in himself to get the one tap and move on. But another first buy from Eternal Fire. They do have the money to do so, but Xantaras actually invested relatively heavily into this, baiting it. Trusted himself, banking on himself to at least get a kill with the Mach 10, and as soon as he doesn't, that's his money down the gutter, but it seems like they know. Sandbags. Whoopsie. Then nice lick of that nade. Hit by Diaz, and he peeks up. The Tech 9 getting the better of him in that close court interaction. You jerks. That's going to back down. We want to overstep his mark, and might be smart to try and get that M4 out of the hands of your opponent, but it would mean giving up the AK for at least a second where they could break through. The story, he's just going to guard it. It's a long green. With the big long green. Darius. That max in. He needs to come into play for Eternal Fire. Even if they don't win, he needs to at least get 1, maybe even 2 kills. Or out of that. And oh my word, what a flick there! What a story. Denying that before it has been into the hands for too long, and even Jerks, he's able to shut it down. The whole they've at least got themselves a bump land on the side of Eternal Fire. And still 3 players alive. Calic at the M4. Wonders here, but it is a good flick there by Zan Towers yet again, shutting it down with the max end. They're all backing down. They've got a dominant position all of a sudden. That smoke not going to do jack. He's off the mark. He's spotting this splatter, and Eternal Fire. They do actually win the round. They steal it away. And what was a crucial round for them to at least get a kill. They managed to sneak it away outright, and that was due to, for the win, sitting back too far. This was an incredible flick, but that's not enough to pull the round entirely in your favor. They were sitting back and losing the battles. That's the main part. For the win, they gave sight away to Eternal Fire and then had to try and claw it back in their favor. Those Tech 9s, you've got plenty of opportunity, plenty of angles. Force by coming through now for the win, and it seems like Eternal Fire are laying down the law. Story, hello, somebody check in PC. What was that? That was through the smoke. We were watching the one player. Oh yeah, no, that's it for ours. Nothing he can do about it. For the win, another opportunity goes right. Even though it was just a force buy, just trying to do as much damage Jerks as possible. Oh no, he misses both shots. Oh, that's not what you like to see from Jerks. That could have actually been the round. He somehow sucked through unseen. I think it's evident that it is their map pick with 5 rounds on the board for them. If he was able to get both there. For the win. Going up with M4 and story it again. The all. He's been good with it. Story the aggression not being pulled in. Does a rear's head around the corner. And a tiny gander down the lane. But Eternal Fire, their ramp control has been immaculate. Knowing exactly where for the win should position themselves, and Eternal Fire just baiting them out with U2, and shortly thereafter checking all the angles. Story, he can't really peek out too wide because he's got angles that he needs to be dealing with. He's getting cheeky, he's getting aggressive, but he does need to be careful that he doesn't splatter his own brain. Consequence of it. Story, spot legs for the win. They need to go legs on the comeback at least. Eternal Fire, they're not letting up on this A site. They want to break through. They're determined. They do meet a heavy resistance and a boost up as well. The round winning play, but also round losing play. Gets at least ones and towers, goes down, but it's a lot of help down. The gutter anymore. Sneak around the corner, catches Diaz off guard, so jumping through the smoke. This should at least be the call for the win, that it is going to be an HCG already residing on site. Now just needs to hold down the fort home alone, and you need to fight off intruders. Bishop. Though that is not crucial anymore as he gets no scoped by walks. Oh, hello. Bomb still planted with 15 health. I think he's just slowly but surely going to walk away from this. Preserve the ult, but he actually got a tag on Emor. 10 health. Does he know his position? Does he know his whereabouts? I don't think he knows that he even tagged him. Oh, Story still gets it. It doesn't matter that he didn't tag him because he will ram it through the sandbox and through the brain for the win. They do not back down. 15 health. Story is gone. He will take that action any day of the week. He's a man to go all in on a 136. That's brilliant. Every single kill mastering, but it's on fire. They had the post plant. Sorry, he doesn't hit normal up shots. He just likes to get it into the brain. Opponent, let me pick your brain real quick. And then he does it in the literal sense through a wall as well. Mind reading ability, something that CIA haven't been able to figure out. Look at the money. Look at the buy still from for the win. Either this is a gross misread on the economy or of Eternal Fire. And we can take a look at the money and we just see they got nothing to work with. They won the round. Look how much it cost. It was 4 players' arrows. Good to get that first kill with the UFC. That's info away. More. Oh, that's not the spray you like to see. Missing every single bullet, drawing a nice little outline of his opponent. Eternal Fire. Push back here for the win, and especially for the win are able to sneak this round away with what I would like to constitute as a horrendous buy when you just won a round. 2 UMPs and a FAMAS. Ooh, that's rough. They're going to go to B, and Zantaris gets the initial opener. Now, let's see what that UMP wants to stay put as long as possible. Keep the smoke in hand because he knows that molly is possible. Zantaris. With that spray there, I know that you're there. There's nothing I can do about it right now. Wow, you can't peek or head around the pillar though, because it's taking it under inspection. Then Taris to do so, rattling down for the win. They need to peek out at some point, and with 15 seconds left, Eternal Fire, they need to start facilitating themselves with the plan. Peek through by Story, but in scoped. Woxic, last man alive up versus Diaz. He goes for the AK, and that's a good push through by Diaz, and he does take the round in their favor yet again. It was incredibly costly. It doesn't. Oh, he does take the up. Okay, I saw up there on the left. I thought he didn't take it. But it seems to me that for the win, they were kind of taking individual peaks there, not pushing as a unit, and thus lost a lot of manpower, and it all came down to that 1v1 where it was basically a gamble by Woxic. He gambled the left side. And if the previous round was a horrendous buy, this is even heinous. The FAMAS is replaced by an MP9. An Eternal Fire. The balance of power of this round is still pretty even. Nothing I can really say about it. 3 Deagles and 2 AKs. Might just stack up against the submachine guns for the win. Making their way into Agile. Chance to dash through. He spots 2 and he will only get 1. Tries to back down. Story missing the first shot, and that might just allow Eternal Fire to get that gun with arrows. Already shutting it down with the UMP, not getting that click on. Spray, doing a lot of damage though for the win. They can keep this favored. It means they actually take the round and tie it all back up. And Eternal Fire at that point, the economy. It's an uncomfortable battle. Jerks around himself the victor. And they're actually able to come out of it with a better gun than they started with. It's great for the win, and their economy needs to get some work done. Zantara's probably going to buy up something. Yeah, indeed. Gonna go for the hero AK. I wonder how they're going to support this, how they're going to try and facilitate Zantaris to actually get the duels, because he has been impeccable on the duels. He actually needs to get them only with 1 AK. It's so tough to win one when you're up against 2 guns. It doesn't really matter. They're getting aggressive on ramp yet again. That's a good nade, and that's already the AK out of hand. Can't push through for the smoke still being in their way anymore. Just silently come and collect. New Jerks, he's a debt collector, and he will get you alive. Santara Zantaras, 10 rounds, 13 kills. Talk about a pop-off. We all know so much about Zantaras already. We've seen plenty of other competitions. Don't overstep your mark. That's actually a great bait-in. I do not want to see For the Win overstep their mark here, even when it's against one last pistol remaining. Every single gun matters so much for you, so just don't overdo it. Jerks here near scaffolding. Able to tie up this round entirely and put it in a knot for Eternal Fire. They're not able to break loose. Zantaras, they have the guns again, and Zantaras, it does not matter whether he's blind or whether he can see the entire world. He'll still get the headshot, and that's an unfortunate start for the win. Now that the force buy or the buy comes through yet again for Eternal Fire. Story. On the angle, and if there's somebody who thinks they're cheeky and shows their head, try and knock it right off, go bowling with it. Timing just off. He is still up close and personal. Interact with Alex, not a favorable one. A Story actually taken down by Zantaras. Through the smoke, through the wall. An Eternal Fire. It seems like they have pierced a sight in. Slightly is, oh my word, Agile running gun. Bishop puts an end to it with a bullet through the dome. Eternal Fire managed to tie it all back up, but this is where the economy that For the Win was able to buy a build up for one round actually matters. They can buy again after a rough loss, but it just seems to be that every single time Eternal Fire win a round, they do it incredibly with a solid fashion with a lot of players alive. For the Win, they straight by with one player remaining, and that player on 18 health as well. Alex yet again aggressive down that stairs. They keep on trying it for the win. I don't know when they're going to be punished enough to say, okay, you know what, we don't actually get a piece of this anymore. Agile. Oh no, the smoke not in his favor. He was blinded and engulfed in flame, burning to death. For the win. This is not the route that they're looking for. Random spray coming through. Story not getting a single shot on Zantaras. You have Catalyzer. Two jerks. What are you even going to do at this point? Guess get the open on Zantaras. The amount of Zantaras has been popping off. Pretty far in front of any of his other teammates. I think there's no real argument here that Eternal Fire have got the better strategy on the T side. For the win, it's unfortunate, but they're going to have to let this 8th round for Eternal Fire kind of run loose. Dead, but it's set with a stutter. Alex, Enoch gets the info of the push down as well. He's going to wait it, all up, trying to give them all an execution. Timor, he will join back. He thinks it's a good old time to execute some counter-terrorists. Sorry. He's had an up the entire time with a USP. I think he might just throw himself off the map. He shouldn't, because he can still do economy damage if he's able to catch somebody off guard, perhaps. Nope. Towers instead gets it through. And Eternal Fire, they're on to 8 on the T side of Vertigo. This round crucial for the win to make it at least somewhat close. Because then you can pull it back in your favor with a pistol round. Sure, you're still not in a great position. But, well, it's better than 9-6. 6-9. Depending on which way you look at it. Yet again, that ramp in the fire. They're not waiting around for anybody. This gun, they're just pushing on the side, but Dirty's got something to say about it. Cross sets up here by For the Win. And then Taris has been the hero, but he sees his friends fall around him. That's got to do something to your mental to get a return kill on Agile. The individual prowess here by Zentaris is just immaculate, but Jerks is able to squander that opportunity for him to show it even more. Khaled getting the first tap. That's the round still in favor of Eternal Fire. Crucial final round for the Win, being pulled into their balance of power by Jerks. That was incredible. 4 kills on the board there. So it is absolutely amazing. But we're going to go to a short little break. You do not want to miss this second half. Don't go anywhere. An amazing first half by Eternal Fire, but that's only the first half. And we have a saying here, the first half is only half work. So you need to do the rest in the second one. I guess it is a saying pretty much anywhere. Now that I think about it, the first half is only half work. Yeah, well, quite evidently, it literally is the case. But it was Eternal Fire on that T side. They did pop off. It was filthy. Zentaris continuously laying down the law for the win. And even though there is quite a disparity in the ranking between the two teams, this is Eternal's map pick. So we can't really make a assumption just yet with how the rest of this match is going to look, because maybe the CT side of Eternal Fire is just going to be a lot worse. They get caught off guard. We can make assumptions, but realistically, what we like to see is the match unfold right in front of our very eyes. Eternal Fire, they can try and hold off For the Win squad. But it is usually, when you pick a map, you don't necessarily pick it for your CT side. You often pick it because, or often you sometimes pick it because you think you have got good strats on the T side and you're confident with peeking in, and that is now gone for Eternal Fire. They're going to have to hold back and enjoy the show. That For the Win is going to be trying to set for themselves and improve his case for him more. Does put the end of the lives to 2. Still possible here for the Win. They're going to get the bomb plan and arrows. I'd love to see him actually get the plan before he went for the USP, but he probably wasn't sure exactly where his opponents were. They're still scared about ramp. I don't think anybody's there. They're all flushing through the same side. As soon as that arrows peeks his head around the corner, gets a tap on one, but that might just be the info. He's got all the info that he needs, and he's just tapping away, tapping heads For the Win. They pull it back in their favor, and they're just sitting in the ramp now. Wuxic, what are you going to do? You don't have a smoke step kit. Tries to bait him out. They just both peek, and I like that. For the Win, moving as a unit, getting this fight back to a level playing field. An exquisite pistol around here, and I thought this was over. I thought the initial 3 openers, or initial 2, 1 return only for the Win and Eternal. They still give it away For the Win. They now have to try and prevent this force buy from Eternal Fire. Great that you got the pistol for Eternal Fire. They've still got strats. They've still got a idea of how they want to take this. As Jerks, he takes the life of Emor, puts it into his own health bar. 76 remaining for him. He draws first blood. Diaz. I don't know what happened there, but Zantares. Oh, here he goes. Oh, no, they don't spot it. They don't know about it, and he does get a free kill on Story. The boost up. Nade to the neutral damage on the side of Eternal Fire is grand. So I'd rather not have. Oh, Woxic! Taking the dome clean off. With a new haircut. Make him look fresh. The 2 bullets in the back of his own teammate's brain, but they do get the entry onto site and the ability to plant. Jerks. He could start getting aggressive here. There's a scout there, but it seems with the smoke being laid down, he does not even want to attempt it. Because it is then, as soon as Jerks gets aggressive, 25 health, 2 teammates remaining, where all of a sudden Woxic gets 1 tap Brain or even Bishop, and they have got a dominant position. So I like the play here from for the win. Getting the round win is more important than tying on that economy. Eternal Fire, they still don't want to back down. They still want to attempt it, and they're peeking. Seems like they're using Bishop as bait, maybe with Woxic. He wasn't even looking anywhere down the site. He will fall in the end. Win. Get another round in their favor. Eternal Fire. They're going to have to retreat till between the legs now. What a way this would be for the win to sneak this out from underneath. Obviously still far out, incredibly far out even. That first bar out from Eternal Fire, that's where it's going to start mattering. Oh, you jerks. Okay, that's some differential as well. But they've got 2 Galil still on the side of the win, at least on the side of Eternal Fire when they had a fight coming through. They were facing 5 AKs, or they had 5 AKs. Sorry, checks the angle properly, does his due diligence. And enough of the Bishop shenanigans. The religion won't be spread any further. Weemore. Awfully close there still. As you see up top, beautiful best of 3, of course. This would be, it would be a crime to let this end into. Look at this by Jerks. It is simple to say it was against pistols so easily. But yes, but at close range, that is where the pistols are most lethal. So that he steps up, and if he misses his shots, if he doesn't get both of them, that is them retreating with an AK. And then they can somehow start a hero play with it. But here we go. This is the round where Eternal Fire are actually able to put up some resistance instead of trying to go rogue and sneak it from out from underneath for the win. Shiny M4. He's been shining in his own regard. Every time he's able to show up. They're getting aggressive for the win. At least they... Oh. KD has got some info. Last name. Meanwhile, that is the Galil not being put into use. Bishop standing his ground and nothing else he can do. No way out. Can't start wavering. They know whereabouts. Bishop still gets the spray on Story. That's his shot. He has to be hitting if your Story. Diaz gets to kill on Zantares. Actually gives opportunities. They could rotate into A as well. Got ample opportunities, and Diaz puts an end. Seymour. Woxic now he needs to get a perfect trade, but Diaz swings wide. Woxic not able to say anything, not even able to utter a word. Or there's an internal error. The internal error being a brain error. With a bullet through it. Not usually what you prefer. I think, you know, if you want to have a clever retort, it helps to not get a bullet through it. But Diaz, talk about Zantares enough. Let's put him to the side for a second. Diaz has been showing up for the win. 17 kills for him. But that's only 4 more than Zantares had in the round, so it doesn't really show anymore. That's aggression that you like to see. And then AK recovered, Jerks. Make sure that the escape's not happening at least. But it's still in a tricky position that they want to guard, but they want to defend. The head peeks out only a second as Story pulls the trigger. At least it's a warning shot. Can't be doing that again. Nade right underneath the feet of Story. He won't be airbound. There are some fragments. He will be limping. Usually your feet don't like it if the nade explodes at the bottom of it. Probably the rest of your body doesn't either. For the win. This seems like they have solidified themselves. Well, lead position. Okay. Whew. There's still something to be said about it. Zentaris. I reckon he's gonna sit back in the Porta-Pooies. Actually, he just might do some damage. He will. The AWP even. Yeah, you can do it. Yep, there you go. That is way too aggressive. I don't like the AWP going out on a tangent by himself. Economy. Get down at you without taking any damage. This is hurtful for the economy. You know what? Utilize the economy as well. Point motion. Point motion is a registered virtual currency agent service provider and licensed payment institution by the Financial Supervisory Authority of Finland. So take that to a liking. Eternal Fire. Their economy themselves is splattered. Cut in half, and then another quarter is taken. Leaving nothing for themselves, but they do have that M4 and an AWP. Actually, oh, never mind. Back to that. Diaz, yet again able to entry. Does pay a heavy price for it. Diaz, they know it. Just nade him down. These Portuguese lads are doing impeccable work here against Eternal Fire. Story, don't burn to a crisp now. I've just complimented you. Come on. This stair control was essential, crucial to the success from Eternal Fire in the first round. Now there for the win has a liking for pushing through, and the entries were happening for the win. They're looking incredible on the openings. 3-on-2. And Eternal Fire need to fight this Black Clord in their favor again. But it seems that they are taking a slow approach. Story cutting down Zentaris and Woxic. He'll rip off a warning shot. Don't come after me, because I'm still dangerous. I still snarl and I will bite. That is a very valuable Story. Does get it out of the hands from Woxic for the win. Their key side. Oh my! Eternal Fire have yet to be able to get a round on their CT half. Talk about utter dominance. Talking about stealing away the map pick. For the win, they've at least rubbed these old ladies off their handbag. The Eternal Fire can transform back into the young guns and chase him down with his refreshed legs. That's all up to fate at this point. Fortune favors the Braves. They do need to be a bit cheeky with it. It does seem to me that for the win, they are more aggressive, willing to take the chance. The Story does it again and gets Woxic through the smoke. Jerks, the entry on Bishop. Can be honest with ourselves. That's Fire just not in their shots. Filthy. They get a clean round here as well. Eternal Fire. Sure, Zentaris on 25 kills, almost doubling anyone in his team. Who cares about it? Motion is also the leading crypto platform from Finland, by the way. I'm just giving you guys new information. How'd you like that, you know? Better than school. You get to enjoy CSGO and you get to learn something new. For the win. Their to Eternal Fire here as well. And Eternal Fire, they're taking a different approach. Not trying to take ramping point anymore, letting For the Win push up. And then Towers is position compromised. He's going to have to relocate. Does so by getting aggressive on ramp. That's not something Jerks had in his game plan. And he will falter. Arrows still slowly but surely creeping up. Aggressive. That's a flash, and he doesn't win the interaction. Pulls it all back over Arrows. Doesn't take any damage. She was getting aggressive. Great flash through info now. Well, Woxic, the battle, important, crucial. Still will fall shortly. They're have to release that bomb down. That's info and story. Spotted and Towers for this smoke was able to pop. This might be the 15th, unless Emor found himself king. Story didn't even want to give him an opportunity, a slight way into the round for the win. They're on 15 already. Impeccable. I think if you look at the dictionary, right, you look up the word domination, this T half from For the Win, that is what's going to come up. The money situation, even if Eternal Fire do start tying rounds together, which is already going to be tough. They've got an MP9 to work with and an initial battle for the win. Wow. They're reading Eternal Fire like a book, and they like it. Make sure to read, kids. This is what can happen. Oh no, Towers through the smoke, through the wall. He is now hoping that he never pulled the trigger. Regrets his decision. And that's the kind of stuff that Eternal Fire needs to actually get a round, potentially, to pull it back level. A random spray through the smoke, through the wall. Towers, if he oversteps here. Towers is still close. Incredibly close, but he's blind. He was able to get it first. Nobody peeks into his crosshair. For the win, they're quickly pulling the trigger. I love how For the Win have been executing. They get the initial opener. They do it quickly. They don't allow the rotation to be happening. And now they just have to hold on for the victory. That time, we're taking Eternal Fire. Their internal clock is taken as well. They're about to get a rude awakening that For the Win have just stolen away their map pick. And the longer they wait, the bigger the chance that is going to be. But Eternal Fire, they want to regroup, to have a chat about how they're going to do this. Jerk's already getting down Bishop, but For the Win, that timer's still ticking. They're making sure that they just get this victory outright. Eternal Fire, they are so incredibly scared. Shiver down their spine. Do not want to push through, and the chance completely gone awry. For the win, they take this victory handily, doubling the score of their opponent. What a map we have seen. That is incredible. There must be an incredulous gasp on the side of Eternal Fire. How do they do it there? How have they done it so dominantly? Because we went into this half where I was thinking, okay, you know what, Eternal Fire, they've been able to get 8 on that T side. This should be all fine for them. They'll be able to look up their map pick. They've not got a single round in the entirety of their CT half. I'll let that sink in for a second. They've not got a single round. It was their map pick. It is Eternal Fire. They're about 70 rankings above For the Win. And the Portuguese squad, they are forcing their way through here. That is impeccable to watch. And, well, of course, there were highlights as well. So let's have a tiny look at what those were, because there were plenty. The sprays, the op shots, the pop-off potential continuously on both sides was immaculate. We've had Diaz on the side of For the Win. Xantares, of course, on the side of Eternal. So let's just roll on those highlights. After that first map, an unfortunate start here for Eternal Fire. It was a crazy second half. I said the rest of the job needed to be done there, and I thought they were very capable. They're still very capable, but just not in that map. Vertigo falling to the wayside for them, and it's for the win who sneak it away, steal the map pick out from underneath, which does mean we are going to go onto for the wins map pick, which is Nuke. Both teams, according to historical data of the past 3 months, do have a 66% win rate on it. The sample size on the side of Eternal Fire is just that the bit bigger, which is always, as soon as you have a bigger sample size, it actually probably is the case. We all know that if you have talked a little bit statistics. So it mainly, the main thing I'm going to be focused on is how Eternal Fire are going to start off. Are they going to be able to shake off that previous map? Because it must hurt being shut out for an entire half. You're basically watching along. You are Twitch chat at that point. You're just watching the game unfold while they do the job, and you're just NPCs running about. You need to change that. You actually need to opt in, play to the fullest potential, because I don't think we saw the full potential from Eternal Fire. It was a phenomenal showing here by for the win, but Eternal Fire, I reckon they can do better. Xantares already showed what he can do, but he just needs to get his teammates on board with him, facilitate them as well, and trying to get entries together instead of, hey, Xantares, yeah, we'll give you an AK. You just entry onto site. You just go peek, okay? Great. Thank you, Xantares. Thank you for winning us this round. Especially on CT, because as T, right, you have the avenue of sending him in and then pushing through with the rest. On CT, you have to split up. So, you know what? We are now one map gone. We do have the second one, Nuke, and I do think it's going to be an atomic explosion here, because it should be an absolute banger. Let's just get into the map. I hope. Or not, Let's not get into the map. Yet again, reeling y'all in. Easy as that. For the win, though, they don't necessarily mind the delay. They can just sit back and let it stew it. Let them marinate on that for a little. Let them marinate on how they've just lost. Because, well, hey, that's honestly, mental warfare in this game is absolutely necessary if you want to be winning and kind of pulling out an upset, because that is for the win currently. That is what they're doing. They've either won 2-0 in the rest or lost 2-0. When Eternal Fire, they want to fight back and bring this to a third one. But it is one of those cases where the upset is currently being pulled into effect for the win, looking incredibly strong on the first map. Vertigo, that's behind us now. Nuke. Let's try and look at avenues. What could Eternal Fire do on Nuke, and especially their CT side? I feel like the CT side will be an easier hold than Vertigo, even though both have quick rotations. You get more cheeky angles, I feel like, on the side of Nuke, and I that was something I was missing on the side of Eternal Fire. They didn't have enough flair to their CT game. It was just straight up, we'll try and hold site, and that's it. Where for the win, they were sometimes pushing aggressive, making it awkward for your opponents, and trying to kind of make your opponent gamble here. That is what you need to do. Make your opponent gamble. Make them uncertain of every single step. If they walk around the corner, is there somebody going to be there, or can I actually move through, or is he going to be on my other side actually, or does he somehow end up behind me? And I think that is what got for the win, the victory in the previous map. But as I already said, we are moving on to the next map here. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. It's Nuke for the win, the map pick. They've stolen it away. But if for the win are able to do it, Eternal Fire are just as well able to steal it out from underneath. Start on the T side. Which will Nuke? Ooh. If you get a good half there, that can already be a mental confidence blow. That's where you need to show the tactics. They're going quickly, blowing up the door. Actually, not flooding through. Just making their presence known. Church goes outside. Light is taking a 1v2. Getting the better of one for the win. Oh my word, that came out of absolutely nowhere. It should be around for them. 4-on-2. One still heaven. Story. Toxic, hello. That's crisp. That's only the entry, though. They still need to tally on so many more kills in their count. Collect those dog tags. This site for the win. They're just playing fine right now. They know where the last man is, and they put a bullet to the brain. Bishop can't preach anymore. It is for the win. You were able to now get 9 on the clock. Not in this map, but still. Eternal Fire. They're going to be trying to counter this. Get that force fly going. The Eagles, Woxic's going to be sitting outside. Just rotate yourself with some headshots here. Diaz. He's off the meds. He's still getting a kill, I guess. He's insane. He's going outside, just challenges it with a max 10, and that is... There's something to be said about that. Whether it be positive or negative, the positive thing would be, hey, they will never expect him anymore. Oh my, that's the double headshot that you need, burning him to a crisp, shredding their torso apart. And Emor, he just continues to push through. Story. Down and actually in a decent position. They're getting complacent on the side of Eternal Fire. Arez. He gets a good time in here. He does not, by any stretch of the imagination, about to be back creeped. Or is he able to sneak through the cracks entirely? This is so heartache-inducing. But I don't think he's got too much chance here. Doesn't check his own spawn. He should be taken down any second now. Actually, oh no, that's missed shots. Oh no, oh no, this is all falling apart on both sides. Okay, finally Bishop actually gets it, but Eternal Fire, that round is completely brought to you by Emor. That's what Eternal Fire have been missing, that pocket of individual prowess from the rest of the team. Towers yet again, he's already been on that. The push through shortly thereafter by Emor, they're catching their opponents off guard, and they do get the force buy win. For the win, I'm going to sneak it out from underneath their opponents again as well. Anymore. Already lays down the rule. Arrows. Can't flood Bishop. Woxic should have this on lock. Scout's got one landing. They're trying to actually get this scout out from underneath them. Managed to do so, and that's also a heaven control. Should give them options they could explore. Emor only barely winning that battle against Shurix. He's such a scary mechanic. You don't know where they're going to be dropping, but they drop right into your lap, and you'll just rattle on that MP9. Sorry. Could opt for the save here. The scout, you could sit in CT spawn, have that long range battle. If they do want to try and push you, get it out of your hands. And he's just slowly making his way down the map. Maybe going to T-spawn even. That'll do the job just as well. Nope, they won't. The Calyx is on the prowl. It does save the MP9 over the Scout. Scout more valuable, MP9 more valuable in the later regard, because you do want to trade in that Scout for an ult. This battle here by Emor, that was crucial. He lost that. All of a sudden, the round was wide open for the win for the taking. The T side for the win. That has been strong. This should be victory here for Eternal Fire. They're bringing him inside with his he is trying to sneak through the crack with Jerk Brother. They were all clutched up, and Eternal Fire at the start there, they can just cock up their gun. Pull the hammer. Pull the hammer slam. Bring it home. Red plasma as well. That's what we like to see. Diabetes compliant. Anti-doping formula. Pretty much everything that For the Win need in this particular round. There's no crash. Natural ingredients. It does need to come out of themselves here. For the win. And it does need to be natural here. Use all the energy that you can facilitate yourself with. Santara, that smoke's going to give it a whole lot away. Dia still peeks wide. And through the smoke, through the dome. What's sick? Gonna fall down in slow motion. Turn of fire. No one necessarily wants to accept this loss just yet. They're just spread out on the side of For the Win. They want the economy get every single gun out of their hand. Mechanics, he's able to reserve the MP, the M4 rather. Mechanics yet again. Runs away with it. It's a 3-piece. Doesn't matter for the outcome of the round, but it does matter for the outcome of the series, perhaps. And you get a lot of money out of For the Win to try and chase you down. They also not try any further. They've gotten enough losses. Suffered enough. And so with the generals to send the soldiers into battle, and at some point enough is enough. You're going to have to accept the battle, and it's just not worth it anymore. The investment not coming through. For the win, they do get another round here. Eternal Fire, they've still got money in the bank. Look at Calix, especially 6k to work with. He's barely seen the consequence of death. He's seen it all around him, but he only himself has suffered it twice in these 5 rounds. Been able to build up a bank and make proper investments for the win. They are holding on by a thread, economy-wise. One tiny slip-up. One time that your car needs to be towed, and they're right down the gutter. They're smoking to the brain. They're still pushing onto the side, peeking every single angle. And actually, the initial battle not going in anywhere into their favor, but they are able to pull it back, and that's been for the win side. Time and time again, the initial altercation goes heavily in favor of Eternal Fire, but they do not give up, and they light a fire underneath their butts to bring it back in their favor. Drop down, Boxer, what are you doing, lad? I am frazzled. The drop down, okay, sure, that's up until that point, you know? He did it without the gun in his hand. He had no way of fighting back. He just threw himself in his bait. And you saw exactly what happened. Piranhas. They tore him to shreds. They do like what Eternal Fire are doing here. They are giving them for Calix. They recognize when a player is popping off, and they facilitate them with the option to continue that, to pull it back in their favor, get that hero M4. Taris even boosted up. You don't see those every day. Bam. He's oh my innocent Taris. Oh, that's lovely. 2 taps to the brain. Story and Agile. They're gonna crunch down that bullet and have something in their stomach for later. The triple stack on ramp, you don't expect, and then Calix with the M4, it does give out some space on A, but Eternal Fire, that was a perfect round for them, baiting and luring for the win into the trap. And then setting off, catching them in an inopportune time. Look at this. You see one further away, right? You don't really think, okay, well, sure, okay, there are 2 on ramps and Taris. The aggressive peak, your back is against the wall when you go for that. There's no way out. You can't start hiding. As soon as you miss your shots, that's you done and over with. We all see the positive effects it can have as well for the win. Their economy in a fragile state. They are in a forced by position, but still 3 rounds to 4. Even if they do drop this one, which is the more likely option, still not terrible. Calyx gets baited and shows his presence. Whether they know his exact whereabouts, I think they do with the impact of the bullet. They can trail it down. No armor on arrows. That's how fragile their economy is. He's literally able to buy Deagle. And that's it. Probably drop some to another teammate. And he just... Story. Scout. Probably to drop E. But still relatively even. Yet also on the side of For the Win, they need to use that AK in their favor and trying to make it somewhat of a hero play. It doesn't even need to be a massive hero play, but for example, Calyx in the earlier round, where he won that one duel, Jerks, bait out the orb. Whoopsie, he's sitting heaven. Jerks, he's just running through, using himself as bait. Now they've got him locked in. Bishop will poacher. Whoopsie still aggressive, and I don't think he is trying too heavily to try and get that up down, especially with Zentara, the firing squad there to back him up. Plan imminent for the win. They actually get Imor. They're able to retrieve that gun. They won't be able to. Calyx be holding down the 4, but a 4 on 3. They've got the numbers advantage, the gun advantage heavily in favor of the fire only. An AK on the side of For the Win. They got it in their face. Oh, wow. There's a tiny gap there, Wuxic, and I think that's perfectly reminiscent or perfectly metaphorical for their gap in this round. It is a tiny, and they're not able to sneak through For the Win. What a round by them. Oh, what a match we're having here. They're sneaking it away. They're trading punches left, right, and center. This is shaping up to be incredible. But unfortunately for Eternal Fire, they're on the CZ side, and it's tied up 4-all. That's exactly what you like to see. It's been so standard time and again how For the Win at least open up the round. They throw a nade, throw a molly thereafter to try and bait it out. This time they even threw a flash in the mix, but they're able to sneak down the cracks. A voice cue, or noise cue rather. I don't think you're gonna hear For the Win drop down all of a sudden into the vents. Ah! I'm dropping down. Ow, my ankle broke. Oh, Story. No! My word, Story, don't make it that scary. I know your name is Story and would like to tell one. That was the story of the fallen hero, agile running and gunning and up close and personal. 2 players all from ramp. For the Win, they can just hold on and they will be in the leading position here. Eternal, they don't want to do anything in this round. They just on their back up, accept this loss. Eternal Fire. They are getting destroyed by this Portuguese side. Trades of rounds happening continuously, but For the Win, they should be the tally on. This should be where they're able to actually tie it together. Eternal Fire, they've got the luxury of not having to buy up anything. They can just sit back and work with the op and M4, see whether they can find an entry, because there's still so much util as well. Ones and towers, they're at least able to hold it up, and they're going for another ramp play. Trying to stack up on it. Win. No. Blood out on it. That's it. Calyx, Zeus, hello. That's your weekly, monthly, probably yearly Zeus play. It doesn't matter, but it is luxury. Calyx sacrificing his life, and what Santara is immediately already up for not going for this round. But how do you like that, Zeus? Putting the lightning through, but it is For the Win who struck this round. Struck gold. Zentara is also losing the M4. You have to save this up if you're Wuxic. If you're able to get some exit kills, that's lovely, but the bait out, they don't know where his whereabouts, where he's hiding. That's in the back of main. got the ult. There's no way he can hold on. He won't even bring down one to the grave with him as he gets buried 6 feet deep. Eternal Fire, they're digging a hole for themselves as well. They think they're digging one, but for the win. But for the win, they've got that Uno reverse card in the back pocket. Oh, jerk! That is electrifying. Seeing your mate get destroyed in front of your own very eyes. Have a lie around on the side of Eternal Fire. Util, not on the level they would like it to be. That's due to losing the ult. Ymor also has to work with an MP9. Centaurus burning. Make sure that he moves his feet away from hot coals. Not a profit. To walk on glowing coals. Jerk's already pushed up again and turn to fire. They start being aggressive here. Could be some heavy damage. Centaurus. Ooh. Thought for a second he might just get aggressive, and instead he's gonna lay back and hold this angle. Even hiding himself for a long part before the flash or smoke comes through. They're taking a more passive approach. They're not making their heads around the corner. Bishop, there's fire behind him. Doesn't need to peek though. Walk sick. More, he just has to push on through. Still burning away. He does get the AK out of the hands of Diaz. Picks it up himself. An interaction in favor of Story here. Arrows should have the info due to the sound cue. He is stampeding in the hut for the win. It's all level, but it seems like they have a bit of a dominant position. They have actually been able to sneak away. Hey, I'm not sure how they've done it. Calyx just left sight altogether. Now they're gonna have to fight it back. The claws need to be shown. Show those fangs at the same time as arrows. He will just show you the gun as simple as that. Calyx. An Eternal Fire. They're waving the white flag yet again. Initiating the retreat. Fire. They're dropping the ball here. For the wins. They're dogs. They're picking that ball up and running away with it, even if it tells them a little bit. Keep it in their mouth, just to toy with you for a little bit. Eternal Fire, they are getting toyed with for the win. They've got a perfect read on what is currently going on with Eternal Fire. This is where they actually have great util usage, or great util of bank. Everything their heart so desires. The stand-up play for the win, of course. It's tradition at this point too. Grenade, get a molly, open it up. At least open up this avenue. Seven rounds already on the T side for the win. It's looking it's looking terrible. I'm saying it's not looking great for Eternal Fire. It's looking dreadful. But that is in their preferred preference. Bishop and Morsic able to link up, at least for a double. Sneaks away through heaven. Diaz. Pull it back into its high scenario. Wins that 1v1 battle against Centaurus. That is crucial for their round with MP or Ymor still with the MP9. Agile getting the plan. Oh my word, that is so scary. Of course, he doesn't know with X-Ray, but for the win, they're able to get this round as well. Oh, that's going to be a hurtful one. Agile. Gets one, and he does spot the other one. The spray control. He knows the whereabouts of all the opponents now. Spot the feet is able to count them up, and 2 pair of feet means 4, means 2 players, and they both go down by the hands of Agile as well. Crucial round for Eternal Fire gone awry. The retake just not in their favor. at any moment for that matter. And Eternal Fire, what are they going to do at this point? They're grasping at straws. How are they going to bring this back to Eternal Fire? Struggling so much to get this one back. To get any round going, it was that initial trade that was not necessarily in favor of anybody, but that's where they got the rounds. Those first 8 rounds where they were just ecoing each other time and time again, force buying each other, rather. But as soon as forced to win, as soon as they took the step, as soon as they advanced onto the next level, Eternal Fire have not been able to keep up. Lagging behind. That's a good shot by Xantares. Make sure they step forward. Sorry, at least get Xantares down in church, wins the battle outright. Kill feed coming up red. That spells trouble for Eternal Fire. They've still got Bishop sitting in the back of this B site. That's bomb, that's the call, and they don't know about where he is. Gets the second, the 1v2 by Story. That's what you want to tell to your kids. If you bring this one home for the win, the upset still heavily in their favor. And that's crazy to say, but coming into this, Eternal Fire, they were the ones who looked the strongest. And the first half as well, and as soon as that first half was gone in the first map, everything turned on its head. Story, I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to put in a massive dent. He's got no way through without making noise, so it's time to get loud. He will get silent from behind Bishop yet again. Been able to execute Story. And that's around for Fire, the individual prowess to play. Bishop on the back of site. Brilliant placement of himself on the site, and that is how they get around. Completely catch your opponent off guard, make them guess for the win. They don't have to talk for a second about what they're going to do in this round. They're buying up, and they're throwing the nade and the flash and the volley. Of course, they all follow. Oh my. He's actually able to sneak through, and I don't think Timor would necessarily be calling this, because he was spraying through. He doesn't expect anybody there, but Bishop, he surely does. That B site has been his. What B stands for, arrows. Oh, Bishop didn't hear it. Oh no, the sound cue too far away, and all of a sudden that B site is able. One still able to hold his crowd. Story tells him no. And Taris through. No one's still there to challenge. So low on the side of for the win. Able to get the plant at least. Arrows actually gets down Calic. Xantares, he's not doing great on health either, and this is actually a pretty even battle. 3 bullets for Emor. The Eternal Fire, they've got a 1 bullet advantage. They have to push. That 1 bullet advantage is going to be marginal, and it already might end here. The position at least of Arrow is now known. Perfect time on the drop down. They can't really peek him because they don't know where Story is. They finally do end up peeking him, and Arrow actually pulls through the wall. Emor. It's a great round for Eternal Fire on the retake for the win. They just have to stall by a little bit more, but they actually started peeking. And they didn't really need to. That push up in radio. For the win, they will very gladly take this T-half. This is the exact same storyline though that we did see in the first map, so don't get your hopes up just yet if you're a for the win fan. Eternal Fire. They got ranked 27 in the world for a reason. This and Towers get aggressive down outside. They still don't know his whereabouts. And Diaz, he will fall into the same mouse as Towers. He gnaws them all down, and Towers just tally them all through. What is that? That is crazy. What a way to end this half. Wow. It is yet again that individual prowess coming through for Eternal Fire, and more specifically, yet again, Xantares, who does immaculately on the outside push, but You know, we have the second half coming up. Eternal Fire, they've amended their initial start. We're going to go to a quick little break, and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. First round, a proper scrap on the first map in this first half. Also, down in the mud, and they're getting dirty with it for the win. They had 8 rounds on T-side on Nuke. Notoriously famous for having a dominant CT side. They are happy with what they've been able to tie together. But it is one of those cases where you are happy with what you've got. You're incredibly glad that you've been able to get 8 rounds, but it was 4-8. So they would have loved to get another one on the board and unable to do so. I don't think they're going to have the confidence sink into their boots. They need to up it, especially on the side of Eternal Fire. They usually shine on that T side. They did also in the previous map because they were able to push as a unit and use that individual power that Zentowers brings. They need to do that and utilize it, grind it down all the way to see Bone. Make him work. Eternal Fire. Lobby quickly at least. They have a quick halt. Tap the brakes. They're slowly pushing onto ramp where there's a USP there. Well, Zentowers wants to return fire with a P250. Peeks on through. This is all the goals that they need. Everybody down ramp, and then for the win, they quickly need to call the rotate. But Calyx, he's already on site. There's still a force to reckon with Diaz. Woxic doesn't reckon with him whatsoever. That should be the round. Solidly in favor of Eternal Fire, and I don't like him peeking here. It's 5-1-2 in the only way. Oh my word, that's horrible. One taps. Arrows, go on. Oh, another one. Hello. Ooh, Calyx puts an end to the shenanigans. I would have loved to see it though. Because I'm in favor for the win, because I'm in favor of a highlight play. Always like that. For the win, a force buy. Imminent. They don't actually buy up any MP9s, which I would like to see that on this particular map. Sit on hut or somewhere on A where you can have those close range battles, or even down ramp or B, wherever. There are plenty of angles where you can take that. A lot of users down outside, and they actually can't entirely. They're running to a crisp though. Agile using that Eagle. Agile getting another one straight from the torso. For the win. They see Eternal Fire crumble in front of them. On the hands up for the win, to be fair, no more. That's exactly where Arrows is. One tiny sound cue, and that's everything given away. They have not been able to retrieve the guns that they've gotten out of the hands from Eternal Fire. It's still very possible. 3-on-4 in the gunpowder in favor of Eternal Fire. They're just waiting. They've got ample time left. They don't necessarily need to make a decision right here and right now. And I think Woxic would like to throw his AK back, but he can't really do that because timing is never on your side. And that's got to be in the back of his mind. Team are going to get another kill here in Vents. He's slowly pushing through, but he's jittery. He's scared. Doesn't know where for the win are going to be coming from. Can they somehow backbreak them? That's A-site control. Really sad. They've given them the story, at least altering Agile. And again, swinging from the heavens now through ramp. They finish this round off for the win. This time through the ramp, through vent, of course. Be impressive if he was able to get it through ramp. Oh, that was the first shot. Beauty. That's a beater and a half by Agile. And then also getting the 3K in this round. Sure, he doesn't preserve his life till the end. He doesn't need to, right? And for the win, they break Eternal Fire yet again. Able to crack him in half. That door is just taking a battering every single round. Just exploded. Could just give the terrorists 300 less and have the door not be there. It's the same exact outcome. This is where Eternal Fire, they want to sneak it out from underneath, and Caddick already with an incredible shot on the story. Diaz able to get kills, hitting in that CT side. Can't miss the shots against Centaurus, because he'll gun you down. Jerks, he doesn't spot the angle, he doesn't even check it properly. That's an easy kill by Xantaris. Harold's in this aggressive position. MP9 though, could do some work. That's a good one. Quick tap to the brain, and that Deagle out of hand. Xantaris, we should be able to retrieve the CT guns, and Bishop, he might be called in to actually have his pick of the litter here. Ooh. Oh, that molly. That molly could still do it. It doesn't go off in time, but it doesn't even tick on. Woxic, the scout, everybody's low. Arrows in an impossible position. He's somehow going to have to do Mission Impossible. They've been able to do it every single time in the movie. Woxic. Xantaris actually falls. Woxic now. Oh no, Woxic, you can't peek like that. That's a 1v3 for Arrows, and for the win, they get another round. No, Woxic.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Peeking with his knife out. This was a crisp headshot. But Woxic, he must have had something entirely different in mind. Arrows the 4K with the MP9, and that's the round. That should not be happening, but for the win, exquisitely utilizing. As soon as Eternal Fire make one tiny mishap, they're all over it. And they'll big themselves up here for the win. 2 rounds in favor, and Eternal Fire, their economy is shambles. Somehow need to rebuild, get some repair payments in. Because on the side of for the win, their economy is not in a great state either. Portuguese lads, they've been able to get the majority of the rounds in their favor, no matter the cost. Diaz, surely spotted the drop down. Now going quick. No, they didn't. No, Arrows just get taken down. That and Mactown wrestling on him. Agile not able to hold this side. They execute incredibly quick and pulled off to perfection. Oh my, no, wait! For the win. There's an opportunity, but I think Story's going to decide against the Bishop. It puts a bullet through the brain, and with that also puts a bullet through this round. Headshots it. An Eternal Fire. That one tiny missed call there. I think Diaz did spot him, or was able to spot him, but had his eyes not on the prize. An Eternal Fire, they went on the hunt into A. Pincer maneuver. As soon as you're getting overwhelmed like that by the Tech 9s, by the Mac 10s, you have to hit every single damn shot. Otherwise, you see exactly what happens. This man in Eternal Fire wasn't that much needed. Tally on for them. There still stands there for the win. They had 2 openers. And somehow this, the 3-piece for the win. Bishop finally tells Jerk something that he's not used to here, and that's no, you will not go on any further. Look at what that does for the economy for the win. Puts it in a detrimental state. Amicable, if you will. He is. Still got that M4, and that story actually has an orb to work with, and yet again Arrows He's been showing up so massively, and every single time he's the one to facilitate his team. I do not mind it. It must not feel great. He still gets a kill on Dantaras. That's actually crucial. That's a gun for arrows. If he can actually retrieve it. Might be out of hand. It might be the hunt on the lurk for Eternal Fire. Using the gun as bait. Arrows. Doesn't want to overextend the story. That's the ult down. You heard a bullet fire. Arrows. Good tap to the brain, Emor. Turns the favor. Angel still up close and against the Norb. You have to hit that short. Emor gets the drop down. Swinging from the top ropes. Able to get the kill on Emor. 46 seconds. Alex swinging wide from main. That's E-Jerks. They know his whereabouts, though. They can just go to B if they prefer. They could also go for an elaborate fake out and go up through vents again. Don't think they're going to go for that. They already know where Jerks is. Oh no, walks it yet again. Against an MP9. Not position you like to see. But he does have the free reign of which side he wants to choose. But Jerks might... Yes, he does. He hears the footsteps above him. Calls it. Goes back quickly. And he doesn't need to... This is so scary. It's not scary anymore. Doesn't even need to hit one bullet. Just throws a nade, lobs it over the top, and wins the round for Eternal Fire. Great thinking. Why take risk if no risk do good, right? But another scary round for Eternal Fire that they already had in their favor. I like that Woxic checked real quick beforehand.
Terrorists win.
Perfect. Perfect lob over. For the win. They're forced by. It's gone begging. Jerked. They've been lethal with those deagles. They're able to utilize that deagle and at least get some heavily a favorable trade. 1 AK for a deagle. Probably some util to go with it as well. And armor. They've got nothing on the side for the win except for that one deagle. The rest are rocking the USPs. Which means it should probably be Eternal pulling ahead. Alex, and you still need to be careful. Okay. Hiding behind the box. He's scared. He's scared of the USB. Now he actually has to deal with 2 of them. 3 of them even. Let's get back up and do find the kill. And he's 1 of them. 2 of them now. Let's do a counting lesson probably in this round. He is. That's it. 5 tallied on for Eternal Fire, and that's 11 in total now for them on the T half. They would still prefer to continue this map and to continue this game entirely. And the way to continue is always where you need energy, right? You always need to at least be able to push through entirely. And well, Plasma, let me tell you, Plasma cooldown is your natural sleep aid for optimal regeneration every single night. You shut down your PC cooldown, shut down your body lovely, so you're able to just close your eyes, lie down, and enjoy the show that your brain is going to bring to you. And it is diabetes compliant, which is absolutely perfect. If you have diabetes. Otherwise, disregard that fact, don't care. And you probably do care about the esports anti-doping formula. Still want to compete, of course. Plasma might be good, but I don't think it's going to be that good to, you know, break esport doping regulations. So it doesn't. They don't break it. And they make it taste good. For the win. They've had a foul taste in the mouth for a little bit, but Jerks is able to spot the feet and he's able to gun him down while they drop down right into his lap, send him to hell. 3-on-1 at Bishop with everything to do and a great moment to start it off up high, and they go down low. Diaz technically gets it through the smoke. Eternal Fire, their round just crumbles. They got a lot of outside pressure, though. Being able to get into heaven. And the fight was actually CT sit in hell and T sit in heaven. It's not your usual way. You usually think that terrorists, they don't necessarily end up in heaven. At least so I hope. There even is one. No time for existential questions, though. It's time for more. Let's go. They're all tied up for the win. And Eternal Fire, they've got a full buy to boot. This map has got legs for Eternal Fire. So they do start their crawl. Alex, slowly but surely, making his way down. Eternal Fire, yet again, so much map control without really having any interaction with our opponent, Calix. He doesn't even care about B. He wants to go up A through the vent. Smoke it up. Doesn't really matter that much anymore. It's still in the exact same position. A quick bout. Story. That stands on towers entirely, and they're all trying to flush through that same little spot. Story with an up close combat opening. Engaged, shifting that pulled out, still taken down by the opposition. 2-1-3 for Eternal Fire, and important that they do get this round. They've opted for B Agile. No way. That is ridiculous, Agile. Gets the spray down as well. But yet again, he reads and doesn't stutter for a moment. To perfection, to a T, exactly. Like if you're a For the Win fan, if you're Eternal Fire, you see this unfolding in front of your very eyes, and you start biting your nails, praying that somehow they check the angle, and prayer wasn't enough for the win to hook matters into their own hands. Eternal Fire. The matter in this round is not in their hands. It's about whether For the Win are going to show their heads to the Deagles that they are pulling out. He has already pulled the Deagle out of Xantara's hands entirely. Lifeless body will fall back onto the silo. To be seen again this round. Ooh. Disgusting story. He puts a dead stop to the round, even a 3-piece. That's a good shot out of Woxic, able to redeem himself just a bit, but Arrows gonna make sure that that doesn't run any further. And For the Win, they're two maps away. We'll get to the right word eventually. 2 rounds away from the perfect side. And they'll at least be able to force an overtime if they do so desire. I don't think so. They need 3 more rounds. Meanwhile, Eternal Fire is nibbling away at the economy for the win. The prestige that For the Win are able to get here is incredible. Able to pull off a massive upset in the Swiss stage, and For the Win they would move on to 2-0. Go to a 118k tournament. Immense. Yes. This is yet again one of those scenarios where if you're an Eternal Fire plan, you're praying that somebody looks back into the box, and then Towers, he will indulge. Make sure that he looks back. Agile. Bouncing down like a little kid who's had too much sugar. The nade in hand as well. That's always dangerous. Kids and nades, probably not the best combo. He's going to lob this one right through as soon as he sees the first sign of human life. And there's Xantara's ghost, shows his head around. Bit of damage done. But I think Xantara's knows that as well. This B-hold by Agile. That's going to be make or break for Eternal Fire. Are they able to get this pesky man out of sight? Flush him away from his position. But Agile, he peeks his head around the corner. Xantara's will leave Bolter. That's 1 down for Agile. He's able to stand his ground for now, but they are still looking to encapsulate him. It does it with an ult then, and shortly thereafter falls against Jerks. Bishop now in a 1v2 and a 1-on-1 in ramp. Puts some bullets into the smoke. That gives information down the other end. Body pushed up, still gets the kill now 1-on-1 entirely. With Jerks, no time to retreat, just has to push on through with 32 health. You would love if you had the ability to retreat. Actually, no, you have the opportunity to go heaven. He starts stomping around. Jerks, rotates. That's at least going to be a bomb plan. Wait, no! What? I thought we were watching CSGO, not some NBA match where you have to throw to start it off. Eternal Fire! What? No! What happened? Pain and despair. That's what's going through their mind right now. Maybe he thought somebody would be peeking and he wanted to take it down. He heard the steps and he was expecting a quick peek. I don't know. They gave this away. Or at least they gave their chance. It was still a one-on-one. They just gave away their chance. No round bonus as well. Diaz, he lays down the law for his and Towers, not allowed to go any further. Border Patrol there. Eternal Fire, they just might have to stick. In Turkey, we're for the win. They don't want anybody entering the Portuguese side, and Turkey's able to accentuate that even more. Woxic will finally get the better of him, able to immigrate into the ramp here. The arrows puts an end to it. I just can't get my mind wrapped around what happened, but that does to the cider. It's on the cards, but it is not likely. It's a 1 in 52. It's somewhere. That Joker could be pulled by Eternal Fire, but for that, they need to form the trot to force it to an overtime and nuke a map that they've had not really the favorable position in time again for the win. They can close it all out here. The dominant second half being through yet again, but this one is more expected. The CT side on nuke is expected to pull that in your favor. Eternal Fire, they could just extend it here. For the win. They're not pushing through. They're just sitting back and letting Eternal Fire think about their previous errors. Oh, what a peek there, but Diaz swings wide as soon as Calyx gets flashed, and after he threw the molly as well, that's already the first notification in favor of for the win, but the second one is Emor, before he tilts into the back of the mollies on his way out, pulls out the wrong nade. That costs him his life. Tiny error. And that's how small the margins are. You pull out the wrong nade, and you start faltering. At least he didn't throw it underneath his feet. Doesn't really do any damage with it. But 3-on-3 still. An Eternal Fire. Not on site. Something they still have to do. And the clock is ticking. They're trying to spot an opportunity away for the win. To give this round away, but they're not willing to give anything here. They're holding strong. Especially as Diaz, he gets the drop on Zantara, Angel and Bishop, and that's it for the win. They pulled up the upset. 11-16 for the win. They flex their guns and they pull their muscles out. Exquisite work by the Portuguese squad. What a series it has been. Immaculate work by them, and they continue their 2-0 streak. They don't like to go through that third map. They just want to do it in 2 as quick as possible. Oh my word, what a way for it to end for the win. They've done immaculate work here. But that is the end of the show, unfortunately, for Eternal Fire. They still have plenty of time. You've got 3 lives in that Swiss stage, right? So you don't necessarily need to worry. But let me tell you real quick before we head on out, make sure to check out CoinMotion. CoinMotion Oi is a registered virtual currency service provider and a licensed payment institution by the Financial Supervisory Authority of Finland. That's what you like. And it is also the leading crypto platform in Finland. And the Finns, they usually know what's up. So make sure to go check them out, as well as Plasma, diabetes compliant, esports anti-doping formula, all the stuff that you need. But we're going to have another look at those highlights. Thank you all for tuning in. And hopefully, until next time, have a good one.